Hi, my name is Jeanette and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So if you have not watched me before or watched any of my videos, I primarily talk about Christian fiction. I do read a little bit that's not Christian fiction, but majority of the books I talk about do fall in the Christian fiction category. And each month I have a TBR Wheel game that I play to choose what I'm going to read for the next month. Over the last few months, my TBR game or the prompts on my wheel have been evolving. And I keep trying to find more prompts to add, but prompts that will allow me to find books that I have on my TBR. I don't want to be buying a bunch of books when I have almost 100 books on my TBR, so I want to read what I already own. So you'll see if you've watched past months' videos, you will see that I have added more prompts to my wheel this month. So I will be spinning the wheel only one time to get a prompt. I haven't decided yet. We'll see if the same prompt comes up a couple times. It will be in the moment whether or not I choose that or I decide to respin. So we'll see. This time I do have my notebook in front of me with a pen so I can keep track of where I am. So I'm going to spin the wheel. I'm going to choose 6 books for my TBR. So last month that meant I spun 6 times to get the 6 books. But if I end up getting a series that has 2 or 3 books, I will not be spinning 6 times because I only want 6 books on my list. So I've had a really good reading month in August. I will talk about that in my August wrap up. But as of today, which is the 26th, I have finished, I just forgot, 7, 8 books. Check my list. No, 8 books. And I DNF'd a book. And I expect to finish 2 more before the end of the month. We'll see. So it could be a really good reading month. Okay, my phone is doing reminders. What is going on? Ignore. So I've pulled up the wheel. You will be able to see it. A picture will be inserted here as I spin. So let's start with the first spin. So let's spin the wheel. I'm going to be looking here because that's where my thing is. Okay, so the first prompt is newest on the TBR. I'm pretty sure I know what that book is. Well, I wasn't going to read that one yet, but I guess we are. So I need to pull up Goodreads so that I can tell you what the book is. Okay, so the newest on my TBR is an advanced reader copy of Like the Wind by Robin Lee Hatcher. This is, I want to say, this is a dual timeline? Yes, sort of a dual timeline. So Olivia Ward arrived in Bethlehem Springs alone, with no job, no home, no money, after her ex-husband used his power and wealth to destroy everything. 6 years later, the peaceful life she rebuilt is once again turned upside down when she learns that her 15-year-old daughter Emma will be coming to live with her. The reunion should be a dream come true, but years of deception have driven a wedge between them, and Emma seems more interested in an old diary she discovered than reconciliation with her mother. Tyler Murphy knows what it's like to lose everything. Propelled by his history in the foster care system, he's determined to root out dishonesty and protect the most vulnerable through his work as an investigator. When he's hired to investigate Olivia, though, he finds himself longing to believe she's exactly what she appears to be. And he soon realizes that his desire to learn more about her has nothing to do with his job. But how can he pursue a relationship that begins with a lie? So that intrigues me. So I guess that one comes out at the very end of November. So I'll be reading it a couple months before. Okay, let's go for spin number 2. I seem to always get these ones together. So this one is oldest on TBR. And when I tend to get the newest on TBR, I tend to get the oldest on TBR. Wow, that is so weird. Okay, so just writing it down so that I don't forget where I am. So I've got to pull up my spreadsheet and find out what is the oldest book that I own. Okay, so I have Okay, so I really have 3 books that fit in the oldest on TBR. The Good Life by Charles Colson. This is a nonfiction book, so it's not one I really want to read right now. I want to pick that one up when I finish my current nonfiction book. Then I have Code Triage by Candace Calvert, but it is number 3 of the Mercy Hospital series, and I don't have book number 2 of that series. I only have book 1. So I don't want to start with book 3. So then the third book is Becoming Fearless by Michelle Aguilar. This is a biography / memoir by Michelle. If I remember correctly, I'm going to pull up my Goodreads just to confirm, but I'm pretty sure this is Michelle that was on The Biggest Loser at one point. Yes, she was the season 6 winner of The Biggest Loser. So, okay, we will read that one. Okay, spin number 3. Close that again for the reflection. Okay, spin number 3 is a friend picks. Now, I have a friend who I said I would allow them to choose my next book. And what I said I would do for them is I'm going to pick 3 or 4 books that I want to read, and I'm not going to tell him the title of the book or the genre of the book. I am only going to read the first few sentences of the book to him, and then he's going to choose. And basically, this is what he asked for, to do it this way, because he didn't want to be influenced by the title of the book. So let me just go grab some books that I'm going to give him as options, and I will tell you what they are, and then I'm going to contact him and let him choose. Okay, so option 1, number 1 I'm giving him is Kept by Sally Bradley. Mark was leaving again. Miska Tomlinson let the gauzy curtain fall across her living room window, obscuring the view of Chicago's lakefront 18 stories below. If she'd known a year ago that the relationship would stall like this, she might have thought twice about accepting his offer of a drink. That would have saved her this roller coaster of pleasure and pain. The pain was worth it, though, wasn't it? The 2 of them hiding out in her condo 3 or 4 days at a time, no one hassling them, no one knowing. She fingered a curl. Why was he packing his bag a good 2 hours before he had to be at the ballpark? Okay, then option 2 that I'm giving him is Where There's Smoke by Susan May Warren. She'd come 3,000 miles to burn to death. Kate, if you don't deploy right now, you're going to die. Kate Burns could hear Jed, his voice muffling around in the back of her brain. But the roar of the fire simply had her by the throat. 300-foot flame lengths chewing up the pristine Alaskan wilderness, torching torching Fraser firs, white pines, black spruce. The blaze candled along the tops of the birch trees, the firestorm churning up its own wind. It felt like the hand of God reaching out to grab her in a paralyzing chokehold. It kept her brain from frying, from reacting to Jad's words. Okay, and option number 3 is going to be The Testament by John Grisham. Book number 3, Down to the Last Day, Even the Last Hour Now. I'm an old man, lonely and unloved, sick and hurting and tired of living. I am ready for the hereafter. It has to be better than this. I own the tall glass building in which I sit, and 97% of the company housed in it below me, and the land around it half a mile in 3 directions, and the 2,000 people who work here, and the other 20,000 who do not. And I own the pipeline under the land that brings the gas to the building from my field in Texas. And I own the utility lines that deliver electricity. And I lease the satellite unseen miles above. Sorry, he responded and I got lost where I was. I lease the satellite unseen miles above, which I once barked commands to my entire flung far around the world. My assets exceed $11 billion. Okay, and then option number 4 is going to be A Rumored Fortune by Joanna Davidson Politino. Somerset, England, 1866. Oh, I'm sorry, book number 4. I say Tressa Harlow's dead. It's the only explanation for it. I didn't set out to eavesdrop, but some conversations are simply too interesting to avoid overhearing, especially when the topic discussed by these strangers is me. In such cases, I had no choice but to observe every word, for wasn't it my business even more than theirs? I gazed from the shadowed corner of the dim room at the greasy little man who spoke these words, and thanked my lucky stars I lost my way in the rain and wandered into this place. Okay, so now that he has all 4 options, I'm going to let him listen to them and wait for a response back. Okay, so I'm just over here laughing because he chose Kept by Sally Bradley. This is a contemporary romance, and I am laughing because it's the only contemporary romance out of the 4 that I gave him, and he always bugs me about reading romance books. So, yeah. This is a reread for me, but I gave it 5 stars back in... I read it in 2016, so we'll see. So, life has taught Miska Tomlinson that there are no honorable men. Her womanizing brothers, her absentee father, and Mark, the married baseball player who claims to love her, all have proven undependable. But Miska has life under control. She runs her editing business from her luxury condo, stays fit with daily jogs along Chicago's lakefront, and in her free time blogs anonymously about life as a kept woman. Enter new neighbor Dylan Foster. Between his unexpected friendship and her father's sudden reappearance, Miska loses control of her orderly life. Her relationship with Mark deteriorates, and Miska can't help comparing him to Dylan. His religious views are so foreign, yet the way he treats her is something she longs for. But Dylan discovers exactly who she is and what she has done. Too late, she finds herself longing for a man who is determined to never look her way again. When her blog receives unexpected national press, Miska realizes her anonymity was an illusion. Caught in a scandal about to break across the nation, Miska wonders if the God Dylan talks about would bother with a woman like her, a woman who's gone too far and done too much. So I remember really enjoying this one, and it's on my TBR bingo board, so that's why I plan on reading it. So that is book number 3. So for book number 4, go back to the wheel. And we will spin again. Okay, so I got a new to me author. I don't have a lot of new to me authors that I own books from already. Well, actually, maybe I should just read this one. Because it's sitting on my desk, because I pulled it, and I haven't read. Yeah, I'll read this one. So this is A Rumored Fortune by Joanna Davidson Politino. This is historical fiction. Tressa Hargo's father kept his vast fortune hidden somewhere on his estate in the south of England and died suddenly without telling anyone where he concealed it. Now Tressa and her ailing mother are left with a mansion and a vineyard and no money to run it. It doesn't take long for the bevy of opportunists to flock to the estate under the guise of offering condolences. Tressa knows what they're really up to. She'll have to work with the rough and rustic vineyard manager to keep the laborers content without pay and discover the key to finding her father's fortune before someone else finds it first. So, I mean, I've had this one since March? I think, yes, March. So, I mean, it's time. And it was convenient because it was sitting right there, right? So let's go on to spin number 5. Okay, so we got random letter generator, and I created a wheel for this. So let's see what letter we come up with. A. Rumored fortune. Oh. Okay, so I guess I will sort my spreadsheet by title. And we'll see if I have anything else that starts with an A. Ooh. Okay, I was looking at this one the other day. Okay, so I have this one on my Kindle. So I'm going to pull it up. A Distant Melody by Sarah Sundin. So it is historical fiction, World War II, it says. Will a chance meeting in a time of war change her life forever? Never pretty enough to please her gorgeous mother, Allie will do anything to gain her approval, even marry a man she doesn't love. While Allie has nearly resigned herself to that fate, Lieutenant Walker Novak, fearless in the cockpit but hopeless with women, takes his last furlough at home in California before being shipped overseas. Walt and Allie meet and begin a correspondence that will change their lives. As letters fly between Walt's muddy bomber base in England and Allie's mansion in an orange grove, their friendship binds them together. But can they untangle the secrets, commitments, and expectations that keep them apart? So this is book 1 of the Wings of Glory series, and I actually just saw book 3. I think it was book 3 I saw on sale and was really tempted to pick it up because the cover was just gorgeous. But I haven't read book 1. I don't own book 2. So I'm kind of like, maybe, and I've never read, hey, this is another author I've never read from. So kind of like, maybe I should at least read the book I own and see before I get any more by her. So I'm just going to make a note. Okay, now we are now on to the 6th book. So this is the last spin. Okay, so I got oldest on the TBR. As I said, I was going to decide in the moment whether I was going to use the same prompt twice. And because it's oldest on TBR, I'm not using the same prompt twice. So it's not my last spin. I'm going to spin one more time. And hopefully I'll get something different. Okay, Goodreads random pick. So for this, I discovered a new feature on Goodreads. I mean, new to me feature on Goodreads. I can go to my want to read list and I can randomize it. And whichever book shows up at the top is going to be the one I'm going to read. So, find random. Or maybe I'm going to go with the top 3 again, like I did with the oldest, just in case they are series books. I say that and it comes up with the book 1 of a series. But that's fine because it's book 1 of a series. Okay, so the top, because I said I would do the top 3. So the top 3 that came up, the first one is Love and a Little White Lie by Tammy L. Gray. So this is book 1 of the State of Grace series. Option 2 that came up is Targeted for Danger, which is a novella collection of 7 or 8 romantic suspense novellas, I'm pretty sure. And the third option that came up is A Rumored Fortune. I think I meant to read this one this month. So I'm going to go with the very first option, Love and a Little White Lie. I've heard so many good things about this. And I've enjoyed Tammy's books in the past, so that is the one I'm going to read. Okay, so this worked out pretty good for me. 5 of my 6 books are on my Kindle, and one of them is a physical. But with me going away for a week in September, I was kind of hoping majority of my books would be on the Kindle because I don't know exactly which book I will be at when we're ready to leave. So that kind of works out perfect because I will have 5 of the 6 books with us. So if I read this one first, or even when we return, like that's perfect. So let's just review what I'm going to be reading. I'm going to bring my notes over so I'm looking at you. So I am going to be reading Like the Wind by Robin Lee Hatcher, which is an advanced reader copy that I have, and it is being released November the 29th. Then I'm going to read Becoming Fearless by Michelle Aguilar. I'm probably not saying that name right. Then I'm going to read Kept by Sally Bradley. Then A Rumored Fortune by Joanna Davidson Politino. And then A Distant Melody by Sarah Sundin. And Love and the Little White Lie. Wow, that was difficult. Love and a Little White Lie by Tammy L. Gray. So that is a nice mix. We've got historical, we've got contemporary, and we've got a biography. So, I mean, that's a pretty nice mix. So if you've read any of these books, please let me know below what your thoughts are, or what do you plan on reading in September? I'd love to chat in the comments below. And if you're not, I'd love it if you would like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.